Alright, Mike Cayley 7 here on the 3rd of May still. I've already made a video or two on this day, so this is, I guess, number 3. I'm on Highway 42 headed southwest toward Sanford. And as I ride along here, I thought, well, let me tell you a little bit about me, I guess. How did I get into motorcycle riding? Well, that I've done before, but I'll back it up a little bit. Because I always see people here and there who say, I've been riding motorcycles since I was an embryo. I rode a motorcycle out of my mother's womb and directly into the bassinet, which is on top of another motorcycle, which I immediately took out and tackled 19 twisties. When I was 5, I ran the TT, and I won the gold. Well, that's not me. I did not start out riding motorcycles at a very young age because I didn't have any money. My family didn't have any money. We were on welfare. All of my bicycles were the cheapest things you could possibly get. And it was not even a question. Plus, I lived in the inner city. There were no dirt anythings to ride on when I was 4. And even when I got older and I was in Lynn, Massachusetts in the 70s, in the later 70s, there was Lynn Woods, which was huge and had all kinds of, trails that you could ride. But I didn't ride there either. I don't think I remember anybody riding there either. It just wasn't a thing for us back then. In Lynn, Mass, that just didn't happen. But everybody had 10 speeds or 3 speeds. Well, actually, I was the only one with a 3-speed. Everybody had BMX bikes or banana seat bikes. And my journey started with bicycling. My very first bicycle was this yellow, goofy-looking thing. And it had a foot brake up on the down tube, on the bottom down tube going down this way. It was a foot brake, and that was the only brake the bike had. It was weird. My sister knew how to ride it, and she was trying to teach me how to ride. So I'm going down this steep hill after I learned how to ride. I'm getting good. I'm confident. I'm going down this hill, right? Down this hill, and I see this fender of a car on the left side. It was one of those big old 60s land yacht type cars, and it had a big dent in it. And I reached out with my hand to touch it. I just became transfixed. It's like I had a short attention span. And I forgot, here I am riding a bicycle doing really, I don't know, 15, 20 miles an hour probably at this point. I'm shooting down this hill and I'm like, let me touch that. And I went toddling off the bike, face first, into the ground, which had sand all over because it was early spring. And there was sand all over the roads from the winter. And I scraped the living shit out of my cheeks, the tops of my cheeks, and my nose, and my forehead, my hands. Road rash. My first road rash, I was like 7. My sister laughed at me. I picked up the bike and threw it, left it there, walked away. She laughed at me, went home, and to this day I still have kind of a scar on both cheeks from that event. Where was I? Oh yes, so I had these scars on my face, but it didn't deter me from riding. I kept going. So I rode. I had a banana seat bike, and then when I was a teenager or getting close to one, I wanted a 10-speed in the worst way. You know those swoop-down handlebars? I wanted to get down in the wind, My father bought me a 3-speed, a Raleigh 3-speed, big green thing from World War II, kind of, with the 3 speeds, on the chicka, and the cha-ching. We parked, me and my friend rode downtown Lynn on Union Street, which is a very bad place. We parked our bikes, and he had this little chain. I don't know if you remember those little thin chains that were wrapped in yellow plastic, see-through plastic. Looked like one of those icy drink. You know, remember those ice pops in the plastic? It kind of looked like that, only it was a bicycle chain. Wrapped it around the two of our bikes on a telephone pole. Locked it with the combination lock. You remember that long, narrow? We come out from whatever we were doing in there, and his bike is gone. He had a BMX style bike. My bike is sitting there with the chain draped around it. Nobody would steal my bike. Nobody wanted my bike. When I was working, I was about, I think, 15. I got a job, and I was making some money. And I saved up and I bought on layaway. I liked the bicycle. It was a Raleigh Super Record. It had 10 speeds. It was beautiful. It was red and black. If you look up 1983 or 84 Raleigh Super Record. It's a nice looking bike. I saved up and I bought that. I think I paid $350 for it. Back then that was a lot more money than it is now. It's still not nothing, but nowadays, geez, you want to get a good 10-speed bike. Well, now they don't call them 10 speeds anymore. They call them road bikes. Road cycles. You know those Tour de France type bikes? You know what I mean? So, I rode that thing everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I loved that bike. Oh my God, that was my favorite bike ever. I rode it to Boston, which was 12 miles as the crow flies. I don't know how many miles it would be if you drive, because you got to go through all these surface roads. If you take a bicycle, you can't take the highway. So I went through Lynn, and then through Saugus, and then into Malden, and then down into, I guess, Chelsea or Charlestown, and into Boston. I came over by the Museum of Science, went down the Esplanade on my bicycle, found a payphone, called my mom. Wow, I'm in Boston. What are you doing there? I rode my bicycle. Oh, okay, well, stay safe, honey. I'll see you when you get home. All right. She immediately got on her knees and prayed. I loved exploring the roads on my bicycle with my friends. I had two friends back then that rode with me, Chris and George. And we rode everywhere. We explored all the town and the towns around, and we went to Salem, we went to the beach, we went to Marblehead, Swampscott, Nahant, Peabody, Danvers. We went all over the damn place. We were exploring our little world, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I had such a great time with them. I was known as kind of like the kid that the parents didn't trust. Because I was independent, I could leave my yard. Oh my God, leave your yard? Yeah, I could leave my yard. I could go anywhere I wanted. My mom gave me total freedom. And I really always appreciated that. One time I took my bike when I was 16. I decided I'm going to go to New Hampshire, which is a pretty good hike from Lynn, Mass, on a bicycle. It's 35 miles one way. And so I rode up there at the age of 16 in 1 hour and 10 minutes. And that's going inland, so it's kind of hilly. 10th gear the whole way. Every hill I pushed up 10th gear, man. I did not gear down at all. I was trying to go as fast as I could and strong as I could. I was very proud of myself. I get there and I call my stepbrother Bobby, same age as me. I said, Bobby, guess where I am? He says, where? I'm in Canopy Lake. I'm in New Hampshire. He says, so? Like, I rode my bike here. All right, well, nobody else is here. Bye. So he basically hung up on me. He didn't give a shit. Nobody did. I was very proud of myself. Well, let's move forward in the time scale here. So now I go to college. I don't have a car. I used a bicycle to get around town. When I was working in Lynn, from one part of the town to the other, I could get there in minutes, not even. I could go faster than the cars because they were limited by 35 miles an hour or 25 miles an hour, and there was stop and go traffic, a lot of traffic. So I would just zoom, 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 like a bicycle courier. I fancied myself that level. I was good. I was very good. Somebody stole my bike once. I tracked them down, beat the shit out of them, got my bike back. Took my bike to Paris, took it apart, put it in a big bike carry bag, and took it to Paris with me. For a month, I rode around the city of Paris at the age of 17 on a bicycle on a 10-speed by myself with my own money that I earned. Shocked the hell out of everybody. Nobody thought I was going to do that. When I got a little bit older and I got out of college and now I could afford a nicer bike and I still wanted to ride all over the place, I bought a Cannondale R300, I think it's called. Very nice bike. Rode that all around, same places I used to ride when I was a teenager, and now I was 28, 29 years old. And I was smart now, because when I was like 17, when I was pushing really hard when I was always in 10th gear, it would go ka-chink, it would slip. There'd be a problem. So I brought it to this bicycle repair place, and he takes off the 10th gear sprocket on the back wheel, and he says, "Watch this." And he bent it, it snapped. He says, "You killed it. You killed the sprocket." And I was all proud. Yes, I'm a tough guy. He says, "Yeah, you're a tough guy, but when you're 30, you'll have no knees. There's a reason there's gears. Gear down. Don't kill your knees." And I listened, and I did. I geared down. I stopped doing that. And now I have knees. Thank God. Moved to Hawaii. Was riding a bike around there. And then I was doing 19-mile things on the weekends with a buddy and another buddy. I had the spandex and the whole nine. I was really into it. And then this car hit my elbow. And that put some fear in me. Then I moved to a place that was nothing but straight up and down hills. And it was hot and humid. And I said, I'm not riding. So the bike sat useless. Then I moved to North Carolina. The roads here, as you can see, there's not enough space for somebody to ride a bicycle. Not safely. People are dying all the time trying to ride their bicycles. They get their spandex on. Oh, it's my road too. Splat, dead. So now I'm 35 years old, right? At the time, not now. 35 years old, and I still want to ride. I still want to explore, but I don't want to do it on a bicycle anymore because, well, I'm older now, and if I ride 20 miles out, I gotta pedal my fat ass back. Well, I wasn't fat back then, but I had to pedal my ass back 20 miles. Didn't want to do that. So that's when I got a motorcycle. And I had always kind of admired the Harleys and the Road Kings and the police bikes, and so I ended up getting one of those, and here I am all these years later. I'm still doing the same thing I did my entire childhood and loved it, but now I'm doing it on a motorized machine instead of a pedal bike. So I cannot really say that I was into motorcycling from a young age. I didn't start till I was 35, but I've been into two-wheel riding my entire life, pretty much. All right, this is my Kelly 7. I've bored you long enough. Now it's just time for some twisties.